Hello everyone. This is a continuation of my strat plus refret video. I just want to cover some things that I omitted in the first video I did of this. Number one, I did make an annotation in that video about the nut. If you're going to refret a guitar, chances are that the new frets will be slightly higher, which is for sure in my case. Most modern frets on our high jumbo frets. You buy a guitar nowadays, anything other than purely vintage, it's going to have higher frets, which is a preference of many players. The thing I did forget to mention was that you need to shim the nut. In this case, it was a metal nut, and I ordered the shims from a place called All Parts, and they send you a pack of shims for a few dollars. They sell a whole pack, I only need one. But basically, it's a thin, very thin piece of metal with two holes. With two holes that that correspond with these screw holes here. You can actually make one out of a pipe plate. Just take a pair of metal, take a scissors, and then probably be the right thickness anyways. Pipe plate will do the job, and that's just a thin piece of metal in order to raise the nut, because your frets are going to be higher. Another thing I wanted to show, and this is going to be very difficult to show here, was no matter what kind of guitar you have, there's a way to there's what I do to check the setup. Before I get into that, though, if you have a non-metallic nut, meaning a nut that is not metal, that is embedded into the thing, there are some videos that suggest that you put a wood block and you pop it off. This is the right way to do it. However, before you pop it off with a wood block and a mallet, what I suggest you do, that you take a blade, like a box cutter blade, and you score around the nut. That is, between the nut and the finish, make a score line, because if you don't do that, you might pop off part of the finish that goes with it, no matter how carefully you do that. So that'll ensure the breaking point between the nut and the finish. That's all I wanted to say. The next thing is to do with setup. This is the way I do it. Now it's going to be hard for me to do it, because I've got to hold it up. To check if a nut is set properly, what I do, and this I've read somewhere, and I don't think I've seen anybody else make a YouTube or anything. I read it on a guitar site a long time ago. The way they do it is you fret the third fret and then press down on the second fret like this on each string. Then you look at the movement on the first fret, on the actual metal itself, and there should be a hair of movement. This is the way I do all my guitars. On each, and you go down. Now I'm trying to do this with one hand. It's kind of hard, but so you fret the third fret. I have to do it in reverse, If you fret the third fret, and with the other finger, you just go up and down like this, and where the metal is, there should be a hair or two hairs of movement. If that's the case, then the nut is set correctly. If it's higher than that, if it's too high, you're going to have intonation problem. You're going to have a problem having those notes being flat over there, and I've never had a problem. Sometimes there's a tiny hair, and I never have a problem with the buzz in that area related to that. I don't think so. The other thing about setups, this is the way I do it. There's no this is my own original idea. What I do is I use the string itself tuned to pitch, to act as a leveling for the, now it's hard to show here, to act as a leveling to see the relief. This is something that I came up with myself a long time ago, before there was YouTube. What I do is I fret the first fret with one hand, and I fret the last fret at this position here before the actual fret itself. Now it's just hard to do while I'm talking, and like, and when I, so I'm fretting the fret at this position for each string. You go with your free hand, see if that string has will sound. Sometimes it will buzz, but that's okay, and that will tell you whether you have, how much relief you have. The way I set up my guitars, and that's only me, I do it with a minimal amount of relief in there. I'll try it here. It's very hard to do because it's in a very awkward position. You have to be standing up or have it on your lap to do this. You can tell here. You need a bit of dexterity, but you can go on, and I find this useful. See, here I'm doing the A, and I can tell that there's a bit of relief on it. Sometimes the strings will sound deader, and that will indicate that the fretboard is not perfectly level, but that doesn't matter. Some guitars are more level than others, but that's all I wanted to add. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can add at this point. The original video, you can see it from my channel. There's not too many, so you can find it pretty easily if you want to find the original. I didn't go into a lot of details. It was more of a thing to let people in the circle know what I was up to these days. But feel free to ask or post questions on it. I'm not an expert. I mean, I just do it for my own purpose. I've done work for other people, but it's just because I knew them, or they came with me with some guitars that needed repaired through word of mouth, stuff like that. Usually I did it as a favor for these people. All kinds of stuff. Guitars in various states of disrepair. I'm continuing to learn as I go along, and my intention is not really to be a full-fledged luthier, but when you have a few guitars, we've got about maybe half a dozen electric guitars, three or four, not three, about two or three acoustic guitars. It helps to know how to do these little repairs. So thanks for watching, and I hope I didn't miss anything else on this. Thanks, bye.